Folks, we are live. Yes, holy. That's right. I can't curse in the first 15 seconds or I get demonetized.
Don't
Well,
demonetize us.
holy
Yeah.
crap, holy. We are live. With me, as every Wednesday night, my once a week work spouse, Baird. I've been pooping out of my pants because I got my ass
I
checked. By the
feel
way,
vile. I feel, you know
violated.
what? I feel like I just got introduced to the rest of the boys in cell block C today. That's what I feel like. It's
And
just like,
and below us, you might not know from the image, but it is James Shields. Um, there's it's
live from
James.
Alaska.
We've had this issue in the past. Sometimes bandwidth issues don't play very well with cameras. I had to try to teach that to Glenn for the longest time, and he's a
And for
co-host.
those that know the Friday Night Show, Joe the lawyer doesn't show his picture not because of bandwidth issues, but because he's ugly. So
Oh,
that's
I didn't know. No,
no, I
has,
love you, Joe. Just
has,
joking.
has nothing to do with Joe. Joe just happens to he
He's in
works
witness
for the
protection. He's in witness protection. He's in
he
witness
works
protection.
he works for the government, and working for the government, kind of means
Yeah,
that
you got to be careful.
I'm surprised he doesn't do like a voice modulator.
Yeah, because his voice is pretty distinctive.
Yeah.
You would be able to know it's him if you know, hey, this guy Joe, he's a lawyer, works at my company, and he sounds just like this guy on this podcast.
You just would never know.
No.
By the way, Lensman, no, we are not going to ask how Venga will be incorporated into the multiverse.
Oh dear God!
I don't want to know.
Good shirt.
I don't.
James wears good shirt. We can't see it. We just
Yeah,
imagine the flowing locks of James and his manly Alaskan beard and mustache and hair. And
if you want to see it in person, come to North Texas.
Yes, he is a special guest in North Texas this year, and he also did our logo this year. Do you have that handy?
Mr. Carter.
Did the wonderful logo last year that was a tribute to Doug Ray, our founder, and then this year we had him do another one because his first one was so good. We just had to have more.
All right, hold on.
I say more.
So there we go.
Now you have to kind of scoot. You have to scooch in to see it better, but it's a really, really cool dragon there. There we go. Yeah. Okay, you can see it. That's the big banner we get those big banners every year. That's the banner, and that's James's logo, and it is pretty awesome. If I have to say so myself, I like it. So sue me.
I'd rather not sue you.
No. Oh yes. I'm sorry. Bad choice of words there. No. No. So yeah, James did the logo. Great stuff. And then James is also he's here tonight just because we like James, but also because he's going to talk about a Kickstarter and some other. We'll talk some more art stuff and convention stuff and all that fun stuff. And maybe we'll talk about some Alaskan winter stuff because we think we have it bad here. I'm sure it's always colder in Alaska than it is here.
I don't know. New York. I didn't shovel all year, so I don't even know. If I had a winter like this when I was still working, I would have been very, very happy. Now when I can afford the time to go outside and shovel, it's like, oh, don't need to.
I thought the weather was horrible in the Northeast, or was that just the Midwest I'm thinking of?
No, Northeast, but not along the coast. The coast was pretty good.
Okay. All right.
And it's James Duck in Paranoia. I don't know if this is one of his clones. He's not being it was a bandwidth issue, so you could have had Cylon James, or you could have had a James that you can actually converse with, and we prefer the James we can actually converse with. So the computer is your friend until it's not, right? That's part of it too. So now, before we fully delve into James, his upcoming Kickstarter, Mike, you had some North Texas announcements?
Well, a couple. First of all, I'm going to do part 2 of my colonoscopy awareness announcement. So for those of you that watched last week and I had my colonoscopy today, and everything's looking good. So I don't have to go back for another 3 years. go if you are a gentleman over a certain age, let's say that age is 50, you should be getting a colonoscopy. And if you are free and clear, they tell you not to come back for 5 to 7 years. If you have polyps, you need to be monitored better, but it's better to know that you have polyps and to know they're cancerous or non-cancerous than the alternative. And so can you hear me? Eric, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. Your headphones must suck, but can you hear?
Okay, I just popped out.
Yeah, now you're.
There we go. I'm back. That's weird. Okay. Well, I'm having issues tonight too, man. It's just all over the place tonight, Eric.
Yeah.
So anyway, the advice is have your colonoscopy. I had it done. It wasn't fun. I was up all night. I was pooping all night. Cleared me out. But I have peace of mind now because everything came back great. I had only half as many polyps as I did last time. I had 3 this time. I had 7 a year ago. So my eating habits and my medication is helping. And so it's always good to have peace of mind.
Cool. So now there is a North Texas announcement.
Yes, and also for those who are going to Los North Texas, we have sold out the hotel. As in, there's no more room blocks there because we had an amazing outpouring of people that want to go to the con this year. So, just a few. I wish Gary was here. He could back me up because Gary's the numbers guys. I'm the face. I'm the beauty.
He looks beautiful, but he's the face.
Yeah. But no, he's the guy that handles all that stuff. And we have more people sign up this year than any time. Our registration isn't officially for 2 more weeks till April 15th. And we have more games on the schedule than we've ever had. We have over 300 people signed up, which I think the most we've ever had, usually about April 15th, is about 250. We have way over 300 right now. So we're pretty sure we're going to hit 500 and we're going to basically sell the con out. So if you're interested in going, you need to sign up. We're probably going to end up turning people away. And if you haven't gotten a room yet, there's only full price rooms at the Westin, or there's nearby properties. We're trying to work out some deals with some other properties nearby. But yeah, thanks, Ledsman. Congrats on selling out. I mean, we did not think we were going to sell that much, and that's why we sold out of a block because what you usually do is you say, okay, we're going to do this many people, and you say like, okay, 25% more or 100, whatever more. And we even went above our expectations, and we're above that. We're above even what we even possibly thought we could ever hit. So if you're local, it probably won't be that big a deal because you'll probably be driving anyway. But if not, there's a lot of nearby properties. There's 4 within walking distance, and there's a Marriott down the street that we're working out a reciprocal deal with. So we're going to get a shuttle and everything. But yeah, that's sort of good news, kind of bad news. Bad news because it sucks that we can't that we haven't even opened registration fully and we don't have any rooms left. But good because it means the con's really popular. I mean, if you look at Gary Con this week, I mean, Gary Con was apparently packed. Where everybody said they had about 3,000 people, maybe over 3,000.
Yeah, I'm hearing 3,500 actually.
Yeah, they were absolutely packed, and so it's just a good time for cons. People are, despite whatever WotC wants to do to the industry, which is crap all over it. People they're just really excited about gaming. And look at Shadow Dark. I mean, we had the first day of Swords and Wizardry Kickstarter today, and I believe Matt went over 50,000, right?
Yeah, he launched yesterday.
Oh, yesterday. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought it was today.
Yeah, wow. And hold on. Sure? I've got so many Kickstarter tabs open. Where the hell is?
God.
Where the hell?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it too. I got like 8. Here it is. He is at $64,000 after a day.
Okay.
Look, people want a game that they may be mad at WotC for good reason, but they are not upset with gaming, and they like the game, and they're excited about Shadow Dark, and they're excited about Swords Wizardry, and they're hopefully excited about James's Kickstarter. But conventions are doing great. I mean, people want to game, and this could be the best of all possible worlds. Maybe people are just tired of WotC.
That's a possibility too. I mean, WotC has been the default power, the big bully, the rising tide, and maybe now folks are learning to rely on others. What, uh, when is Matt going to be in a Talking Crit live, Lensman? Well, here, just so you all know, we have the next 4 weeks already booked. So uh, we may try to get Matt on to random party generator on a Friday night. But we after James this week, we have Alex Macris the following week, followed by Greg Christopher, followed by penciled in. We need to get it inked in. Kelsey from Shadow Dark.
Yeah, still waiting to hear back from Kelsey. She's been very busy lately. She was actually at GaryCon too. She's at GaryCon running games, and she is another 8 or 10 hours of her Kickstarter. She's at 1.3 million.
It's 10.
Wow,
10 hours, and then after Kelsey at 26, there's Jeff Jones, my layout guy now for a lot of people, does some great work, and Adam Kovac. So we are booked until the end of April. This is amazing. I think that means we would have at least 10 weeks straight, starting with Courtney. You started our 2.5 months.
He did. We've been. This is not like, I mean, Eric and I love coming on the show and just vamping it sometimes too, but this is just amazing. We can't turn down all these guests, so we're having this has been great. And yes, we'll look at having Matt. I'm sure Matt would think about coming on here. We could talk.
I just don't know if we're going to catch him during the Kickstarter.
No, that's not a problem because we are booked up quite a bit.
Yes, for Sinless, which did very well, and and hopefully for everybody who's doing a Kickstarter, I don't want to call it the Wizards of the Coast blowback, but the pushback, at least, that Wizards of the Coast is getting is likely freeing up funds for other projects. People that might be normally spending stuff on WotC stuff is now putting stuff into the hands of others. Now, that being said, let me pull up.
Oh wait, it's not like WotC. I mean, WotC may be not making as much money, but they're doing fine. They're doing fine. It's great that everybody else is doing well too, and that's what we're.
Don't cry for me, Woods of the Coast.
No,
I'm gonna tell you. And by the way, folks, later on when we start talking about this week in Gaming Stupid, if you haven't seen the D&D Beyond video marketing splash from yesterday, we have it queued up for a very special song for you all.
I want you to know this was not my idea. This is Eric's idea because I already got through with some nauseous diarrhea the last few days. I don't need more, but Eric's gonna throw this out there anyway.
James doesn't even know that we plan on it. James, did you watch the WotC video from yesterday?
Did we lose? We didn't lose James.
I don't know.
James,
did you watch the WotC video from yesterday?
Oh no! Did we lose James?
We might have lost James.
Oh boy.
Well, today playing the role of James Shields will be Eric Tenkar. Actually, let me put James.
Why don't you play the video now?
What?
Oh, there he is. He's back. Okay.
We thought we lost you. We thought we lost you, James. I said, did you watch the Wizards of the Coast video from yesterday?
I think we have a lag on James.
No, I don't think so.
We do have an Alaskan lag. That's okay. We'll work around it. So, James, can you tell us about your Monsters and Character Encounters Kickstarter, which is launching, I believe, within days.
Otherwise known as Mace, which is a great anagram. Mace, I like it.
Thank you. It actually is a backronym, which if you don't know what a backronym is you start with something you want to call it, and then you figure out what it's going to be. Kind of like Agent of Shield, but it fit perfect. And it is going to launch on Friday. It is both a combination of. Well, let me start with this. That part of the reason that we're having this technical difficulty is I'm not at home. I'm at the job that I am leaving. About a year ago, I took a job to try and provide some stability and for my family, and took a full-time job and been working for a full year. But every month, every week, probably even every day, I miss this community more and more, and doing what I actually enjoy doing. And so I put my notice in, and on Friday I am returning back to full-time for the tabletop game community. And I'm also not putting all my eggs in one basket with just doing commissioned artwork, but I'm also stepping into self-publishing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so my maiden project is Mace, Monster and Character Encounters. And it is a combination project. One, I'm not leaving my stock art stuff. So it is a stock art project for independent publishers. They can be able to pledge and get the artwork for this project. But it's also a library of monsters, plus their rumors, their traps, and their treasures for old school games.
Nice.
The concept that I wanted for these, I didn't want these to just be your typical hack and slash monsters that the problem that they present is just another hit point drain. Every monster is designed to create some sort of alternative problem that players have to face. For instance, I don't know if you have it linked up, but the very first image in there. Do you have that?
The very first image. No. Let me see.
I sent you the back link so you can see inside the Kickstarter. Yeah. So each creature is going to be able to is going to have their either I call them traps. Some will be literal traps. Some will be problems or obstacles that they create for an individual member for the entire thing. For instance,
sorry.
not to mention, yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
Holy sh!
Yes.
All right. That, I gotta say, that's my kind of artwork. That is awesome.
I love it.
You have an eye for detail, James. An eye for detail.
Yes. I want to beat those guys up. Yowie. That's rated PG-13. For eye damage.
That reminds me of classic Crumb artwork, because he always liked the eyes. Go for the eyes, boo. Go for the eyes. Let me zoom out on that.
Yeah, so each one is going to have their own problem. Yes, these guys might be easy to take out, but the issue that they're going to pose is, what kind of rest are you getting tonight? Can you really actually get the full rest you need and restore the hit points from from your previous battles.
Not those guys are crawling around between your butt cheeks and your eyeballs. No.
Well, no, your butt cheeks have a different problem, Mike.
Okay, I thought we were illustrating my butt cheeks.
No,
This is totally different. Okay. Oh, there's some. So yes, we have some great James Shields artwork with this, which is not, as you can tell, this is not going to be your father's monster book. This is going to be some new cool stuff.
Yeah, that could have been stuff that could have been on the North Texas banner.
Mm-hmm.
No?
And scare everybody off. Nobody's going to buy that shirt. It's going to scare them. And so this will all be.
The other thing that I'm a list. Scroll. Go ahead.
I'm just scrolling through.
I was going to say, so this all this artwork will be available to be used also. This will be licensed. It can be licensed.
Yes. Yes, if you back at the basically the independent publishers level, then you'll be able to get each of the to use in your projects. The vast majority of these are going to be brand new images that I have not released yet. For instance, that Eye Thief is one that is not available out there yet for anybody else to use. But being part of this will allow you to torture your players with monsters that are collecting eyeballs for some sinister purpose.
Or maybe just collecting eyeballs for fun. I mean, it doesn't have to be sinister.
Oh, this is true too. And I had mentioned that I'm a minimalist, so my design, as you can see in that, in the design of the layout there, and a big shout out to and thanks to some refinement there. He was the first one to see these, and among the first, and his input helped me really clean it up some more. But every entry is going to have one is going to have a clean layout, but two, I never really liked looking through monster manuals, and there are these names I have no clue what in the world they are, and so every monster is going to have a name that at least gives a sense of what it is or what sort of threat, and then it's going to have its kind of scientifical name that, and so for instance, the Gore Ox here is Gore Ox, but it's got actual. It's not really a scientific name, but we call it scientifical, close enough so that it's not all. It has its monster name versus what everybody else calls it.
Now that's a great. So this is great, James, because one of my pet peeves with monsters, and this goes back years and years, and I could probably do a whole comedy routine on this, is so all those monsters that always had really crazy names that no peasant being chased to the field by it would have screamed, "It's an exitachitachito! Oh, run!" No, they say it's a devilfish, or they wouldn't say it's a boule. What's a boule? What is a boule? It's a boule, the thing with the shark thing on its back. Oh, a land shark. That's it. The boule, the land. It's always one of my pet peeves when monsters have really complicated, crazy names. It just doesn't make any sense. Well, so yes, I appreciate things like the Goroks. I appreciate it.
I like the eyeballs being yanked out of the head. Personally, not that I want it to happen to me. All right, I'm just going to clarify that. But I do like it because it's comical too. Because we've got the one pulling the eye out, the one above supervising, and then the one below waiting to catch the eye. He's got his hands. Wait,
I just noticed that too.
Over,
yes.
Pass it over. And that's the kind of stuff. I mean, there was a reference to paranoia earlier, but this is the kind of stuff that really, I don't like the overt humor. It's the subtle humor. It's the humor that, like, you look at it the second time, you go, "Holy shit! I didn't notice that the first time. I just thought it was gory." And then you catch the little bits of humor. That's what makes it fun. That's what makes gory movies fun, is when you catch the humor that goes along with it. In my opinion,
and that's something.
Maybe I'm sick fuck.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because that is an aspect that's going to show up in my work, and it's something that I've always struggled to kind of convey to other people, that I don't want, I don't like to always be drawing the tropes. I'm always looking at how to illustrate and create ideas outside of the box, and so having those subtle details are and uniqueness is something that you're going to get in this. TXG asks, are these monsters system agnostic? These are designed for old school, but you are free to use them for anything that you can convert them to. I try to be very, very simplistic in the design. As I mentioned earlier, that I'm minimalist. We do have the OSC, we have VX, we have 1E, OE style stats in there.
There you go, Ty. It's a great little acronym there, MACE. Monster and Character Encounters. And it's number 1. So actually it's number 1, and as James has numbered it, he's hinting that there's going to be at least 100. So I mean, that's impressive.
You keep catching those, Eric.
I had a job that was detail oriented for a while.
I'm doing that. Well, okay, of course you do.
But no, seriously, I mean, I really enjoy the little tidbits that are thrown in, and this is what I'm getting from the Kickstarter page. Then I can only imagine what I'm gonna get when it comes to when it goes live and when it ships. And I mean, the layout is nice. It is. First off, I'm going to tell you this, and this is a big complaint of mine, and I can tell you it's not going to be a complaint here. Your font is good for 55-year-old eyes. Okay?
That was on purpose.
Oh, thank you, James. I mean, listen, I'm doing this. I'm not wearing my glasses. When I wear my glasses, they have the invisible bifocal, so you're not supposed to know that I need it for close work. It's God. I don't wear those glasses over my nose, but there are certain RPG releases from many companies, and I'm going to name my worst offender: Frog God Games box set, Swords and Wizardry. Worst offender. Beautiful game, beautiful artwork, beautiful layout that I could not read without wearing my glasses. If I have
Eric and I have the same problem. Yeah, I can't use that game at the table because the font's too small for me. When I was 29, it would have been great. Yeah. 59, no way.
It becomes a struggle. I could read it, but it becomes a struggle to read it because my eyes can't stay focused on the words. They kind of move on because it's just so. I would have been happy to have paid for an extra, 20 pages of paper to have been able to
large print version. Yeah, I would have backed the large print version.
It doesn't need to be a large print. It's not a small print version. But this I could tell you right now. I'm looking at this. This is a font that makes my old eyes. I'm a grognard. Or at least I'm getting there, and it makes me happy. So this I can use at the table. I'm not going to have to borrow Rachel's reader. It's.
I like nice, clean layout. Yeah, nice, clean layout has something to be said for it. Believe me.
It has not launched yet, Ty. It launches, according to this, I don't know. Kickstarter Friday. Goes down in 3 hours. That's what it's saying up there. But it launches soonish. James?
Friday.
All right, fair enough. That is soonish. It is print and PDF, TXG. So here I will go through the pledge levels. 10 is digital. 15 is digital plus print. 50 is digital, print. First set of 25 Munster stock art, commercial license to use the art.
Oh.
And if you want the first and second, and this is where I'm going to be at, 75 to get the 50, the first 25, the second 25, digital, print, and your commercial license.
Yes, that sounds very good. That's a great deal, as a matter of fact.
Yes, because you're basically paying $1.50 per piece of stock art from James Shields, and then that is an insane value. Oh, and by the way, you're also getting a print copy of the zine, and you're also getting a PDF copy of the zine. So if you're a publisher, you think you might want to be a publisher, if you want to use snazzy artwork on your blog post, if you want to throw some nice artwork on your son who's calling you during a live stream, who should fucking know
like he does every other week, like he does every third week. I swear.
I thought, what do you really? You're doing a live stream? I was like, oh,
you tell him the same thing every time. I love it.
I should have picked up and told him, "Hey, Chris, you're on the air."
as we are every time you call Wednesday night.
Yeah, it's like, then all you'd hear half the time though when I answer the phone, he just belches in it because you know what you do when you're 29, and that would not be cool if I embarrassed him like that, or it would be, but I'd never live it down. So, yes, like I said, it's print PDF. Like I said, I can't help but saying I really like the layout, and I like your default font size. Thank you, James.
Yeah. You stopped at 75. There is one additional pledge level.
I got distracted by the goddamn phone call. Okay. So, again, digital and print. Again, first and second set of Munsters. Commercial license and previous GAE Shields Kickstarter $50 reward. Now, is that a choice, or which one is that? Which Kickstarter is that from?
Any of the previous.
You have to choose
Kickstarters that
okay. So that's pretty cool. Okay. I've probably backed them, so I don't know if it'll be good for me, but yes.
Yeah. Yes, you have been on pretty much every single one of them, as far as I can remember. We kind of stopped in the middle of the monster sheets, and I kind of stopped also in talking about my approach to monsters, the kind of the unique aspect of them. I don't want, I said that I don't want them to be just another hack and slash. I don't want them to present just another thing that's going to kill you. Each one is going to have something unique about it that is a problem that your players actually have to think instead of just say, I swing my sword. And so this, for instance, is Gorox. He's a passive type of monster. He's not out there to kill you. He's a scavenger, but he also is covered in plague and disease and curiousness. And so he's got his rumors there that you can use or not use. You can decide which ones are actually true. His particular trap is that he touches anything within 10 feet with his probing tendrils, and takes up a large passageway. He's a problem for fleeing monsters when they're trying to run away from another monster. Now you're trapped between a Gorox and a wall. And then also each one has their own unique treasure, something that's guaranteed, and then also some other treasures that you may or may not have been able to come away with. And so there's a kind of also under the type of person who is a type of player who likes to collect. That's the right word I want to use there. Okay. Like I don't have it here, but my little eye thieves, my eye thieves one of the treasures may just happen to be an Eye of Vecna. We don't know. Maybe not that name, but
that's always the Eye and Hand of Vecna were always great in my old AD&D 1E campaigns because they came up. It's like I poke my eye out. Like what sane person would poke their eye out?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they might have had it removed by an eye thief.
Well, then having an Eye of Vecna to replace it would be appropriate-ish. You know. But yeah, yes, I do I like that treasure table. That's awesome.
Yes. Simple and to the point, and it's 25 minutes.
Yeah, I kind of regret this this little bit of lag between us because there's I am trying to allow y'all to interject in between, and it's hard to tell when to speak, when not to speak. But I did come with I have my little book of monsters that I'm working on to give you a sense of the type of monsters that are going to be in this book. I don't have a name for necessarily all of them just yet.
Okay.
But I've got actually there's some that are already mentioned on the Kickstarter page. One that I'm going to hold off on release to before you actually find out what it is. But there are things like the dungeon dogs that eat magic, but they're friendly. They actually like to be around others, but you don't necessarily know that they're feeding off of the magic items around you. I also have obviously the mouth maggots. You're looking at them right there.
Right.
That actually feed on the food that you eat until they're large enough to leave their host body. So you now have to deal with your hunger and theirs.
Nice.
I also I've got an avian. Avian is the wrong word. I have a flying creature that's a little bit like a woodpecker, except that it pecks away at stone. When you hear that sound, do you rush in to stop it, or do you flee because of the possible impending cave-in that it's going to cause as it's trying to find the food that it's feeding on? And yeah, so I can keep going, but I know that there are questions that are popping up.
Yeah,
and I would like to address some of them.
Okay, Go for it, man.
Yeah, it's just one of my creations. Oh, is that the first one up?
No,
okay.
The first one would be.
Oh no, the first one up is your favorite setting. Okay, well, favorite setting for my creations. I kind of have a top three, and it's a mix of fantasy, sci-fi, and superheroes. I love the freedom in the fantasy setting. There's just kind of an unspoken. It doesn't have to make sense.
Right.
It's still fun when it does, but there's a lot more freedom in that world than there are many other settings.
All right.
The next question. Do you have anything elaborate on that?
No.
Or no?
Next.
You're good.
No.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was actually open to. I was looking forward to this one. If just one of your creations were to be put in the Smithsonian, and would be the one you are remembered for, what would you choose? Currently, it would be last year's logo.
Really?
For North Texas. It's nice to be remembered for artwork, but I don't. I'd put this all the way. People are the number one thing that, like, when you're on your deathbed, the last thing you're gonna say is, "I wish I had worked more hours. I wish I had done made more money or all that silliness stuff. But at that point, people are what's going to matter most. And if anybody can be remembered, it'll be if any of my work was to be remembered, it would be because it would be that someone else could be. And in case anybody is not aware, this was to, you can elaborate on that, Eric.
Doug Ray, along with Bad Mike and Gary, basically he was the heart and soul of North Texas. He kept it running for years, sometimes at a loss, because the time he believed in it and believed in what he was doing. And as large a man he was in his stature, he was even larger in the heart he shared for the gaming community in general, and the old timers and the youth. And I still remember coming up, I don't know, it was a number of years ago, trying to get my badge from the table, and I'm there, and we're talking, and I'm like, I'm not sure if my name, if I'm down as Eric Tenkar or Eric Stina. He goes, well, why wouldn't you? What Tenkar's not your real name? I go, like 20 years. He goes, yeah, and like, well, I mean, I was like, and he goes, yeah, it's under. Now, what's Rachel's under? I go, should be under Stina too. I don't know. He was very annoyed that I would, and that my name was not my name. It was classic Doug.
Because you were being a tricky little bastard.
Yes, I was. Somebody had to be. So, yeah, it is really special. You did a very special.
Yeah, that's great because there's just so many Easter eggs in this, and I know Gary and I were just really, really pleased with this because just everything, all the little. If you look at all the little treasures there's all kinds of Easter eggs hidden in there, and the quote obviously it's from Doug's favorite movie, and so it's that was just a great logo. And you managed to create the Texas and flag, which we always want, and the dragon too. So
yeah,
best part, everything is supposed to be in
there. Mr. Gunn, you are correct. If you want to find me, you Google E-Shields as one word. I'm not going to try and compete with a Major League Baseball player. And in fact, I was on the scene first. My name, J.E. Shields, it came about oddly because I had to create a website when I was in art school many years ago, and so I wound up just being very creative and just picking my first two initials and last name, and then that's kind of the what has stuck over the years. So
now,
but J.E. Shields, all one word.
Now the pitcher James Shields, I think he's retiring or about to retire. So maybe you can take that back in a year or so. It won't be that big a deal because I think he's about 40 years old. He's going to be 40, so maybe he's going to finally hang it up soon, and you can take your identity back.
Son says he did retire.
Oh, he did retire. Okay, I thought he was. I thought he was getting on there.
Now I just linked James's. I don't want to call it a web store, but it's where he has his stock art. If you're not a Patreon backer of James, if you like his stock art, be a fucking Patreon backer. You will get your value and then some. Oh my God! Honestly, there's not a better deal out there. Whether you're into fantasy, sci-fi, supers, it's all available up on James's site. So I'm not trying to pimp you, James. I'm just, I happen to be a Patreon backer. James's artwork. is iconic and classic and very clean. So
Yes.
Yeah. You happen to be a backer who with a lot of unused credit.
I know that. Kind of like rates with our Audible books. Like, hey, hon, listen, you got 7 credits sitting there. You haven't bought a book in a while. Do you need me to continue with your subscription? Yeah, because I'm going to binge at one point. I'm like, all right, I'm going to binge at some point.
Bob G had asked a question, and I didn't get to answer it. But he asked what my favorite medium to work in, and hands down, ink. I sketch super light. I mean, stupid light is the right phrase. And then I do a lot of my decision making at the ink level. In fact, I got a whole bunch of my pins right here. You can't see because lovely Alaska internet. But yeah, I use my favorite pins to work with are actually Artist Loft, and what's the other ones? I use them all the time. I should know them very well. And Faber-Castell. Also, and if anybody who I also can work really small. Not that I think that's a good thing. For a while, I use a 0.003 as my favorite. My detail pen. 0.003 and 0.005. If anybody actually knows or cares what that is.
All Greek to me, to be honest. But
yes, we're not.
Your bifocals would not be powerful enough to look at to see the end.
Okay, there you go. Now that I can understand.
That.
I'd be going. I can't see. What do you look at the cartoon? I can't see a thing. Yeah.
Just don't be your font size.
No. All right. So, Lensman, who or what was your inspiration to start drawing?
To start drawing, I really don't know as far as to start drawing goes. I like my earliest memory I have is of being at my grandma's job. She was leaving accountant, and I remember drawing on a window, not on the windowsill itself, but on a piece of paper at a windowsill. And I would do all sorts of different drawings, just for my grandparents. And are y'all good?
You dropped out there for a second. Alaska struck again.
Okay. I recently updated my computer, so I'm wondering if it, because I went up to Windows 11, if that's my problem. I don't know.
Bad, yeah. James, bad. Yeah.
Well, okay, so I'm taking these steps, and I'll finish that question, Lensman. But I'm stepping away from my job, and I'm really taking a step into this self-publishing, and so I upgraded my Adobe subscription because I'm already drinking the Kool-Aid juice, and over the past year, what part of what I was doing required me to learn very quickly how to use Adobe InDesign. I was hired because of my Adobe knowledge. My Photoshop knowledge, which they misunderstood as Adobe knowledge, and expected me to know InDesign. And fortunately, because of my familiarity with Photoshop, they were none the wiser. And so I upgraded because I want to be able to actually do self-publishing and do my own layouts. That the layout that you saw on the Kickstarter was done in InDesign, and so yes, Mr. Gunn. But because I was using an older version of Windows, the new subscription doesn't work unless I upgrade my system. And so thus I'm a big advocate of, if it's not broken, don't fix it. And so I wasn't, I had no intention to upgrade, but I came up with a dilemma. So that I'm discovering that, Mr. Gunn. But to finish up the inspiration, about in middle school, I remember I was in an art class, and there was a team who had a comic book, and it looked, from what I could see, it looked really, really good, and I was hoping to be able to see it, and he wouldn't let anybody else see it, and I was kind of like, that's kind of, I don't know, insert adjective, and it wasn't until years later I realized why, because he wasn't letting anybody see. He was a good Mormon boy, and that was Gen 13. And if anybody doesn't know Gen, the first edition. But in my freshman year of high school, I became friends with someone who was big into comic books, and we just dove in. And so my start, my early starts were, of course, some of the big ones, like Jim Lee, but I wasn't as big of a fan of Jim Lee as I was Brett Booth. And then kind of a segue into role playing. I got connected in my dad, which both Bad Mike and Eric have met, because we go to the North Texas together, and he played Dungeons and Dragons when I was a kid, and in fact he still has the very first miniature I ever created out of a piece of the hamster bark, a little green chip of wood, and glued onto a penny with a toothpick as a weapon. But he played, and I always wanted to play, but he was playing with his friends, and but I also had the problem that I wasn't very good at communicating. One memory I have very vividly was we were driving, and I was trying to telepathically get him to turn into the restaurant I wanted to go to, and so I had a problem with communication. So I don't blame my dad for any of that, but that was my first connection into role playing games. And so when I made friends who actually had a gaming group, I got into Marvel, and then the Rifts world, and to finally get to where I'm going. The biggest probably influence was Ramon Perez from Palladium's Rifts books. Just that whole style, and you can some of his nuances have worked its way into my work.
I can see that influence. We played a lot of Rifts in my old gaming group's Final Incarnation, which ended in I guess 97 when I went into the academy, and the Rifts artwork was very iconic and very much like your inks. There's a lot of depth to it, and especially I mean, I've been collecting Palladium stuff since the beginning, so I had some of the stuff that had the original Kevin Simbita artwork, which is probably nothing to write home about, but the Rifts artwork was very good, very, very spot on. So I can see some of that influence now that you mention it. So it's interesting. Mr. Gunn, I have a question. Do you use an electronic drawing pad?
Yes and no. My preferred method is physical, for a couple of reasons. One, it's what I enjoyed back in the day, and two, it lasts. I can put it in the hand of someone else that really someone really likes it. For instance, last year's logo for North Texas. That was a very special illustration, and if I had just been purely digital, I could not have given that to the con and to Gary. But I do use electronic pad. Yeah, I have used it for illustration, but I stepped away from that. I do use it for colors. Whenever I color something, I don't trust myself to do any sort of physical colors, because then I'm permanently doing something to the nice clean inks that I'm confident in, and so I'll take it into Photoshop, and that's where I do my colors. And when I use an electronic pad, I used to, my very first one, I don't even remember the name of it, was a piece of garbage. And then I upgraded to a Wacom, and now I have an XP pen, XP something. I can't remember the name of it offhand, but I wish I could. I'm not at my house, so otherwise I'd just look over and let you know.
Mr. Gunn has a follow-up question. I noticed in the Kickstarter, your art seems to have softer edges and stuff on your website. Is this a deliberate change or an evolution in your style?
Softer edges than the stuff on my website. So can we be more specific? Because I can answer this. I just want to make sure I understand the question. Can you scroll down to the artwork?
Yep. Oh, hold on.
Okay, so we've the soft edges that you might be seeing in these, at least those first two, with the mushroom fungal guy and then the mouth maggots, those two actually were created digitally, and so that might be part of it. But I've got a very specific workflow to create some hard edges in my artwork, and so if you don't mind elaborating a little bit more, if I haven't answered your question. But to answer as far as what can you expect in my art style, it will be that crispness of the newest work that I, if you go to my website and sort by latest, that's my, the artwork on my website spans the last decade, and so of course every artist is going to have a little bit of evolution, and I would say something along the lines of, I hope I've gotten better, but I know objectively I have, but I'm a bigger fan of the work I do nowadays than my earliest stuff.
So Mr.
The edges on my bookwork seems to blend out. Oh, yeah, go ahead. The edges on your bookwork seem to blend out smoother. The online stuff has a very crisp edge. So on the book itself, that was I can't remember. I feel like that one was a physical one as well. But I'm wondering if that is a combination of the page decoration and export from InDesign. So I don't know if I really helped answer that as much as you'd like, but let me know otherwise.
Mr. Gunn, you're done asking questions now. You're done.
It's more of a guidelines than it is.
Yeah. No, that was good. All right. I was about to say, is Mr.
Like
stirring.
So just like with all my other stock art projects, the artwork, the only piece of illustration that has been done so far for this project is the eye thief, And so this is funding the creation of it. And so there's going to be and so what I do provide are examples of the type of quality and detail that you can expect.
I think you put it pretty well. Yes. And yeah, I know, Mr. Gunn, but listen, Rach knows I am a Kickstarter addict. She does not know how bad. I don't ask about her purchases of perfume. She doesn't ask about my Kickstarter acquisitions. I don't ask where she's going to put her perfumes. She will ask where I'm going to put the new RPG books.
Yes,
because that does become an issue. So, all right. We're past, we're on 9:15 here in New York. So what we're going to do now is step into our This Week in Gaming Stupid segment. And for this, I figure we will share something. And I'm going to do, I don't care if it demonetizes me. I don't care if Woods of the Coast goes, oh my God, you played our video and we want your money now because I don't make enough money for it to make a difference.
Can we get shut down for this like you did last when you tried to play something?
Last year when we did the Game of Thrones and all this stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
But before we start on that, I just want to say thank y'all. Y'all have pushed me over 100 followers.
Wow.
Really?
Okay.
Awesome.
I'm surprised it's that few because you're such a great guy and you're so such a good artist that we need to work on getting that way over.
Oh wow! Holy crap! I just refreshed my page. 106. Damn. All right.
Oh, there you go.
Up like 8 or 9. Not too shabby. Very cool. So this, all right. For those that don't know, D&D Direct had an update yesterday. And listen, it's all advertising. If you want to see what the VTT is going to look like, somebody pointed out to me, by the way, that all the laptops being used to play the VTT were Alienware laptops, which tells you the amount of power likely needed to get good results, which means that people like me on my Mac, we're not going to get good results. Oh, David Thompson, I made David watch this already. So yes, Dave. Dave's like, everyone turn away now. No. Come on, it's awesome. It is awesome. Now, somebody at Wizards of the Coast thought, this is so great. We got to include this into our ad spiel. Here we go.
So, what do you say? Interested? I don't know. I'll think about it and I'll get back to you. Oh, okay. Well, no worries. We can talk about it later.
So you want a game with your friends, but they are all new and have trouble playing.
And I'm just going to stop this for a second and point out that this is apparently a male with a ribbon in their hair. I'm confused, but all right, we'll go back.
Pretend it all seems so hard to be in the right cards just to play.
I know.
But luckily, hope is not lost. Despite how it seems, there is very little cost. In fact, it's quite painless, in some ways even brainless. And so I will teach you today. First, you get your friends together, and yes, you have them pique their interest, and then you grab them, show them live plays or fun short clips or even the D&D movie. Set a time to start playing weekly, make some characters that uniquely fit their fantasy, or dumb memes or something completely left field but groovy. Tell them it's their chance to star in their own series where they can do anything, save the world or be the villain. Use an imagination, you can even smooch a kid sing.
This all sounds fun and everything, but I have a few concerns.
Like?
I can't voice act or sing good songs.
Embrace the bad. It's fun as heck.
I'm scared I might get rules all wrong.
Just mix them up, or you can check.
But who will be the dungeon master?
Who knows the most, or the bravest friend?
But what if it all ends in disaster?
Learn from mistakes and try again! Grab pen and paper and starting rule set, and that's all you will need to start that game of D&D with your friends.
Can I add cars and laser guns?
Sure, home like fantasy, then do sci-fi. Any setting can take its place by making homebrew or funhouse rules to custom tailor your grand adventure. D&D is so much more than how you start or how it ends. Print some sheets and grab some dice, then go and grab your friends.
You know what? I actually do want to give it a try.
Yeah!
All right. Now, Mike, you removed your headphones for that.
I'm sorry. First of all, that's not okay. So that's not a song. What that is it's like, okay, this is what he did. And this is me and Eric, and we're on our show, and we're doing all kinds of fun stuff, and we have guests all the time. That's not a song. That's not writing a song. That's chanting, and you have music behind it. So it's not even to the point where they're creative enough to actually write a song. That's just chanting with words. That's not even rap. Rap's more. Look, Mama said "knock you out's better than that." I mean, that's rap songs actually make sense. This makes no sense. It's terrible. It's absolutely fucking awful. I'm sorry. We're going to be demonetized.
I thought I read Tavern chat on there
from here going forward.
What was that, James?
I thought I read Tavern chat, but I was wrong.
Tavern chat. Yeah, it's so some dude. So how am I going to identify with the dude that's wearing cat ears and a bow? I don't identify with weirdo. And then I understand the whole point of it. It made its point terribly. The point is, hey, I want to play D&D, but I don't know how to do it. Oh, just go ahead and do it. You can't. How can you screw up worse than this song screwed up? I mean,
it's cheap.
It's cheap. Yeah, we're cheap.
This is the same company that's already told us they're under monetized, right? They're not getting enough money from us. But play it. It's cheap.
I have a friend. I have a friend that does music for like background stuff. So he does music, and so he has a website. And if you need music for like a commercial or something, you go to this guy's website. He's got all these different kinds of music. It's not expensive to hire somebody that does actual music. That's not actual music. That's like I said. That dun dun dun. Here I am sitting at the table, and Eric is above me. That's not music, or there's nothing creative about that. That's just free form talking with music with some sounds behind it. That's awful. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
Now we have
man.
We're getting a request for the people playing at the table. I guess you want to see some bad acting. I guess that's what they want to see, because that's really really bad acting if we add this. Hold on a second.
I will.
Oh, you want this part? There we go. Yes, James.
Yeah. I will interject that we've already established that we're not the target anymore.
No, we're not.
No, you're right. He's right.
He is
right. Yes.
Now,
I see this as being very.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at targeting the different demographic, because, there's lots of
it ain't us. True.
I'm looking at it right now. Looking at that VTT, if you're telling me that this is what I'm going to play D&D on my computer as a solo game, and this is what it's going to look like, that's cool. But when I play D&D as D&D or an RPG, theater of the mind is half of what goes on. Just like when you're reading a book, you can read a book, you can watch the movie, right? And they're different experiences. This is not the experience as it's shown. The theater of the mind is gone. I would even say that Roll20 with dynamic lighting and all that stuff is probably pushing as far as I'd want to ever see a VTT get. because after that, your ability to get lost in your mind's vision of what's happening is now going to be taking place in what's on the screen. And if it can't appear on the screen, it's not happening. That's.
But James is right. This is not. You're not the target audience, Eric. I'm not. We're all not the target audience. So,
I'll get some.
Actually, we probably don't need.
To me, this looks. Yeah, I don't want to play like this, but
no.
Refreshments. What would you have?
A nice grog would be nice. Really,
these are high-end computers. Even without my knowledge of, look at the air. Look at the fans in the back of those computers. That's how much air has to get pushed. That's how impressive the hardware is.
Buy a new computer, old man. Maybe your computer's too old, you old grognard.
That is scary for my pocketbook or my wallet, depending on how you want to look at it.
Standing real close to the fireplace. You have good wood. Your wood is good.
Everyone hears scratching noises in the walls. Barton's like, "Damn rats!" and he kicks the wall.
I'd like to roll perception to see if I can figure out where the sound is coming from.
Yeah, so you want to go to the walls and kind of look around.
Mm-hmm.
Fire breaks out. The whole inn shudders a little bit.
Tobin, do the rats you encounter normal?
Now, what I find interesting about this, and I'm just gonna, is that they're doing this all in the same room. The whole point to a VTT is that you're not in the same room, that you're across the country.
No, why would you need a computer? You're looking at everybody right there. Why do you need the computer? It makes no sense. Oh, yeah. Hurt me, kill me, beat me.
Gary, you were late. 50 lashes with the wet noodle. Give you.
Yes, and that's true. These are $3,000 Alienware laptops, and they're playing in front of each other. They're not even using them. They're not even in other rooms. They're in the same room, and they're having it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, the Minecraft D&D branded stuff, that looks more exciting than this. At least that's first person. At least you can engage it. If you throw on a headset and hopped in a Minecraft world, you could get more role playing out of that than you could this.
I thought scared. I mean, every time I go to a convention, it's a bunch of fat old white guys. So I am happy to see the diversity here because this looks different than any other convention I usually see. So that's good. I like that part that there's actually people that don't look like Kyle Binks, right?
Right.
He doesn't want to see people that looks like him. Yeah.
That's fine because
they don't look like Kyle.
But here's the thing. You know what you do see? In this part, when you're looking at the VTT, you see their senior VTT producer, who happens to be right. When you see Chris Perkins and the other guy in this video, they happen to be the same thing as Kyle. So again, everybody of authority is kind of ruining their built-in message, but James does have a point. I like the look of the Minecraft stuff.
Hey there, everyone.
Oh, shut up.
And
Jeremy and
stories.
Chris, yes.
Jeremy and Chris, yes. But hold on.
And they just maybe it's just me, but they exude smarminess. I look at them and I see smarmy pills flying all over the universe. We're so smarmy. Here's what we have coming up. It's going to have Vecna because you've never seen Vecna before. Oh my God, Stranger Things. Is this
so? What do you say? Interesting?
No, stop! No. Not again.
No, I want to go back.
Hey, Gary, I didn't get to say hi.
I want to go back to the Minecraft.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah. This is the best part. This is cool. This is actually cool.
Right?
Who doesn't like this? This is actually pretty cool.
You gotta hold it. What do you want? You gotta, a treasure chest attacking you just like the movie. Just like the movie.
I kind of like this. This is pretty cool.
Oy.
It's better than the dum-dums sitting around playing in the $3,000 computers when they're standing in front of each other.
Right, I could play
That's
this.
Like having a phone. It's like you and I in the same room, Eric, and having a phone. We're talking to each other. We're looking at each other like, "Hey, what's up, Eric? I don't know what's up, Mike." And we're just
Mike. Mike, let me text you from across the table. I'm gonna. I don't want to whisper and pass a note. Can I text you? Come on.
It's bad.
Yeah, I don't even like using as a game master. I don't even like using digital tools. Give me a short GM screen and some real dice and some paper tables, and we'll have some fun.
Yeah. Look, if I live in Tanzania and nobody plays, and all my friends are in Texas, yeah, I can understand playing online and I've done it before. I had a group one time. The group members I was the DM. The group members were in Florida, Mississippi, Ohio, and I believe Australia. And it was fun. We had a great time because we were never going to get together in person.
Right.
So, unless we saw each other in North Texas. Sometimes they used to come to North Texas. And that was it. And so that was fun. But we weren't sitting at the same table. It's like going to a convention and you bring your laptop and then you go to a convention, you're there and all your friends are there and you pop your laptop open. Wow. Everybody's like, what are you doing? Like, oh, I'm going to play on the laptop while we're all playing. What do you mean? Well, we need the laptop to play the game. Is this what conventions are going to look like, Eric, when D&D 1 comes out and you have to use the VTT?
No.
Or you're going to have to bring your laptops to conventions to play the game?
Well, now they
seriously.
You can use your tablet or your phone. I don't know how you're going to use your phone and be able to read any of that stuff.
Well, an app. I guess there's an app on there. You can do something.
Yeah, I know. But, I mean.
Must be.
I don't see... Again, and I understand we want to show it the best way we can show it. If you're showing it with $3,000 plus Alienware laptops, you are telling the average D&D player you're fucked. All right, I mean, honestly. So I remember playing back in the day when I was playing EverQuest and. Was it the Moons of Kunark or whatever expansion came out, and I installed it, and then I couldn't play it because I needed a new graphic card.
Your computer shut down.
It's like I had to like buy a new graphic card just to play the damn game.
Oh boy,
is that what we're going to be looking at? Are we going to get D&D Wizards of the Coast branded laptops so you can enjoy this? Don't be surprised if a third-party company doesn't. Well, try to license that. We're the official laptop of the D&D VTT.
So let me bust off here a little bit. So I had some friends that went to. I'm gonna riff off this. So I had some friends that went to GaryCon, as Eric did, and sales were not great at GaryCon for anybody. I mean, for anybody, any system, 5e, old school. I mean, anything. D&D, non-D&D sales just weren't good. Now a lot of this might be economy, this and that, but I have a theory about this year. I think this year is going to be our shakeout year. We're not really going to know what anybody wants to do until 1D&D comes out. 1D&D is the 800-pound gorilla, and until we see that 800-pound gorilla, we're not going to know whether we want to take that gorilla home or not. And so, once we see 1D&D, and people either like it or don't like it, we're going to know, because I don't think that 5e has left the building yet. I think that 5e still has a huge audience, huge potential audience, and I think a lot of people are just going to do what they did when Pathfinder came out. They're just going to say, we don't want to play 4th edition. We're just going to play 3rd edition or this version of 3rd edition called Pathfinder. And I think the same thing will happen with 5e. But a lot of it may depend on how Kick-Ass, Wolfgang's, Cobalt Press's Black Flag is. But yeah, nobody knows what's going on right now. The whole industry is in flux. Nobody knows whether to publish. Is 5. I mean, look at Shadowdark. Shadowdark is a 5e, but it's not really 5e. It's old school 5e. So it's not WotC's. It's not WotC's 5e. So people loved it because it's not WotC's 5e. It looks like Matt's Swords of Wizardry is doing good. It's got $50,000 or $60,000 after one day. But once again, it's not 5e. It's not. It's a classic brand, right? It's Swords of Wizardry has been going on for a long time now. And I just don't know. Companies just don't know what to do. They don't know what's going to hit, what's not going to hit. And so that's why you have all this just crazy shenanigans going on right now. Everybody's trying to find that. Everybody's trying to hit Shadow Dark, right? They're all trying to say, well, how can we do what Shadow Dark did, which is basically we're 5e, but not 5e. What's the sweet spot? What is there about? Let's throw OSC in there too. OSC made $750,000. What did OSC and Shadow Dark do that we can do and imitate and jump aboard on? And until that question's answered, I think everybody's just gonna be running around with circle with chickens, their heads cut off. That's and that, like I said, it kind of ties into Gary Con. Gary Con, nobody bought anything because I don't think anybody knows what they want to play next year. Well, I just don't think they know what they want to do. I mean, the 5e people.
They couldn't find the fucking vendor's room, okay?
Well, there's that too. Yeah. But I'm just saying I don't think they know what they want to do. I mean, if one DD comes out, and it's a disaster, maybe people start playing DCC. I don't know. Maybe DCC will be huge. People say, you know what, I'm just tired of D&D. I just can't stand this. Maybe they'll all just go, you know what, I have my 5e books. I paid my money. They're here. They're sitting on my shelf. I'm going to play 5e still.
These two releases, these two videos you shared, make absolute sense. That they were trying to push, even some comments that were made around that old GL debacle, but of wanting to micro monetize. That this is the only way that they can. Was it Mr. Gunn said something about PC gamers just accept they need the latest hardware to run, but we're not PC gamers.
We are not, and
that's not tabletop RPGs.
Yeah,
exactly. And they don't. I believe from watching these videos that these videos aren't here for the current players. These videos are here to entice the new players. The players, they're going, "Oh my God, this movie is so great!" It was a fun movie. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it. But I don't know if the movie is going to convert a lot of people to playing D&D.
No.
But they want their new players to come and sit down and play a subscription-based version of the game. Now, D&D Beyond is subscription-based, and that interfaces with the VTT. You can be, damn well sure the VTT is going to be subscription-based. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be microtransactions too, because that was their plan back with the 4E VTT. It was to have microtransactions, and it's like, well, if you need 7 orcs, each orc is 10 cents a piece, and they were going to well, it's cheaper than buying a regular mini. Yeah, but no. But
no, you can't paint it. You can't put it on your shelf. You can't let someone else borrow it and never return it.
Yeah, you can't step on it. There's a lot of things you can't do with it.
Yeah, and Mr. Gunn, I didn't think that you were. I didn't think you were trying to advocate for what was going on there. My passionate response wasn't towards you; it was towards them. That they're marketing the wrong thing to the wrong people.
Yeah, I mean, this is something. And this whole, if you watch this whole piece, you look at it like there's like I would call an interview with Ari Salvatore, because he's just talking, he's not being interviewed. But Salvatore is interesting. It's interesting to listen to him, and that's something that's going to be interesting for a lot of us older gamers, right? A lot of the newer gamers don't know much about Drizzt. I mean,
I'm actually surprised he's still publishing Drizzt books. I didn't know he was still doing that. Apparently, he's doing his 25th book or something. I was like, what? I stopped reading the Drizzt books back in 2000 or so. So that's interesting for me to know he's even still doing that. That's amazing.
But it's a hodgepodge of advertising, and like the other individual that you get to see from Wizards of the Coast of any import, I think their marketing, my vice president or manager, she's the one that's showing off like the Beholder and stuff. Yeah. The WizKids minis, or not minis, macros, whatever, the figurines. And you're looking at this and you're going, but again, she doesn't look like she's really connected. She's wearing her default gamer shirt, but she doesn't really look like she's connected to gamers. And I'm not saying gamers like me. I'm saying like gamers that I will see at the game store, or gamers that I will see at, I don't know, GaryCon or GameHole. I'm not saying old school cons, but cons that or TotalCon. Current 5e gamers. They don't seem to be connected with their audience. Now, I did notice that there's going to be a shit ton of Wizards of the Coast people at GameHole this year as special guests.
Yeah.
So does it mean that Wizards of the Coast is realizing that sticking their head in the sand for years when it comes to conventions is maybe not the best way to handle things as you're launching a new edition? I don't know. I wonder if they're going to make an appearance at Gen Con. Wouldn't that be interesting?
I don't think we're having any of it in North Texas this year. Sorry. I don't know. Not on the agenda. Not on the agenda. We're more off the grid type people. We would rather have Kelsey than Kevin Crawford. So
I would have to agree with that.
But this whole thing about the movie, I mean, I know gamers love the movie, and I hope the movie does fine because it seems like it's a good movie for D&D people. Now, I still haven't seen it yet because there's not been a general release yet since here. It comes out, I believe, tomorrow here, so I can see it tomorrow or Friday.
Okay.
But my one question has been, and this has been ever since you saw it and you were talking about it, you and Rob, is this going to go beyond gamers to the way the MCU did when Iron Man came out and all the other movies? So the MCU succeeded not because comic book fans went to see the movie. Comic book fans are a niche audience, right?
All right.
It was because they brought their girlfriends and their wives and their friends, and by the time the last few movies came out, everybody was watching MCU movies because they all want to see what happened to Captain America and Thor and Iron Man and the Hulk and all that stuff. They wanted to see what happened to it. Are they going to be able to build that with what is a niche of a niche, not just a niche audience, a niche of a niche? Because you have gaming and then you have role-playing gaming, and you can even go farther and you say you have fantasy role-playing gaming. So are you going to be able to is that niche of a niche or whatever going to expand out enough to get people and I've seen people argue about this online, and I just don't know if it's going to move the needle or not. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know. I don't think it is. But I just don't know. Maybe it moves the needle, but it's going to have to really, really succeed outside. I mean, just gamers like in the movie doesn't help it. They're counting on you to go see the movie. Gamers, they're not. You're not going to shock them or surprise them by seeing the movie. It's, does your girlfriend like it? Does your wife like it? Does your husband like it? Is the guy who you work with who doesn't even play D&D, does he want to go see it now? That is what it's going to boil down to, and that's why movies succeed. Is people who are outside of the genre go see these movies.
But again, that's how Marvel succeeded, right? I mean,
yes.
I took my mother to see Iron Man 1 with me and my wife, fiance at the time. So I heard it was a good movie and said, "Hey,
it was good." It was Iron Man was a great movie because it was one of the first superhero movies that took itself seriously and wasn't a gag. It wasn't a joke, and it had Robert Downey Jr. and it had. I can't remember who the villain was. It was the guy who played Arno. I can't remember. Jeff Bridges. I mean, it had an all-star cast, and so yes, they took it seriously. Now, this movie does have very recognizable names: Chris Pine and Michelle Rodriguez and Hugh Grant. I mean, Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant.
Yes,
he did great in his role.
He looks great. I mean, he looks like he did a great job in the movie. But I'm just saying is that. So it does have that, but is it going to appeal beyond gamers? And that's I don't know yet. If it does, is that still going to be enough to push them? Because what they want to do is they want to sell games to every one person that walks out of that movie, that saw that movie, that loved that movie, even if they don't already game. Because if you already game, they already got you. Just like the MCU movies if they already had me. I'm a comic book reader since I was 7 years old. I was going to be there no matter what. But you know who they didn't have was my wife. And you know who liked the movies? My wife. She loved to go see those movies after a while because they were so well made. And that's what they're counting on. And I just don't know. we'll know in a month or so. Like we'll know in about a month if it works or if it worked or not. We'll see what the opening day is, and we'll see how the. I mean, the reviews have been good, right? Good reviews. People like it, but I mean, like look at the Fast and Furious movies. Fast and Furious movies. I mean, okay, when they came out, they were a very narrow audience. It's those dudes that like to see fast cars and like to see Vin Diesel kick ass on stuff, but as the years have gone by, the Fast and Furious movies are these heist movies that are super elaborate and they have kick ass fight scenes and all kinds of cars going everywhere. So they've expanded outside their niche to where now that people just like to go see them because they like to see kick ass stunts. And I mean, I'll watch a Fast and Furious movie, and I'm not even a super fan, but they're entertaining, right?
Yeah, like the Expendables were entertaining. They weren't really.
Yeah, Mr. Gunn said that he said, "I'm so tired of superhero movies," and I wanted to respond to that. I'm not tired of superhero movies. I'm tired of the same formula.
I'm with you on that, James. They have. Excuse me. No, that they have. Yeah, they've dipped from that well a little too much, and I think that's why the fourth phase of MCU has been like, because they're doing the same thing and expecting the same results. And look, when you don't have Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, and the Hulk, you're not going to get the same results. So yes, I want to see. You're right. I want to see new superhero type stuff.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I once Endgame, was it Endgame Part 2 or whatever, when that whole storyline wrapped up, I was done. I was happy. Listen, I'll watch the new Guardians movie when it comes out. Definitely Guardians is fun, but I'm not looking to see these third string characters step up and fill these roles, because they are just that. They were third string comic book characters because they weren't filling the roles. The iconic characters have already been used.
Well, they have two left, right? So they got the rights back to Fantastic Four. The MCU has never done Fantastic Four yet, and they got the rights to X-Men. So I'm gonna wait and see what they do with Fantastic Four and X-Men. Those are going to be the two new tent poles, I think, when they come out. Because right now everything is just kind of like, bleh. It's like James said, it's a formula now. It's a formula, and it's one I'm not really interested in seeing too much. Not really, I mean, I don't want to see him do The Boys. I mean, I like The Boys. It's cool, but it's not MCU. I mean, if they did that, it'd be shocking. If they did a Boys type MCU movie. But The Boys is good for what it is, but it's not MCU. But you can do MCU. But yes, just James said, just mix that formula up a little bit.
See the movie that I know we will never see is the one in the rebooted the reworked Justice League movie, the release that wasn't the release. Was
right, the Snyder
at the very end, when you get to see like I guess like the post-apocalypse world or whatever, where
right, which was cool.
Looks like a wasteland. That was a storyline that I want to know. I want to know what happens. That's what I want to see. But with that cell, I don't know.
I think the Flash movie that's coming out deals with that a little bit too. But they call that the Snyderverse, and that's about to be over with. And then James Gunn, or I'm sorry, not James Gunn. Yeah, James Gunn, not Mr. Gunn. James Gunn is going to take over the DC universe, and we'll see if he can save that mess, because that's turned into a huge mess now.
Yep.
Because they did worse because they didn't even have the formula that MCU did. They just kind of threw everything against the wall and see what splattered. And yes, that's why we have the quality all over the place when it comes to DC movies. They didn't really have a plan with those. But
I wonder with the movies, like when I think of what they've had to do with movies and why we get so tired of some of them. You have decades of comic book history, and the reason that those work is because you have stories that and story arcs and things that last and is meant to be serial. But for a movie, you have to sell something that will encapsulate and summarize all that hero is, or all that super team is, in order for it to sell as a movie. And so therefore they're kind of guaranteed to die.
Yeah.
Well,
like you said,
let's
you were
apply
done
that to
after the, and yeah.
Let's apply that to Dungeons and Dragons then, because that's an application of that. That's the reason why it's been so hard for everybody says you can't make a Dungeons and Dragons movie, because what do you do? Do you do a serious movie based on like Greyhawk or Tomb of Horrors? Do you do a wild and crazy movie? I mean, I think one thing that they did do right was, I think this is the kind of movie, the one that came out is the one that you need. It's got a serious plot, but it has jokes, right? It's like Guardians of the Galaxy. It's serious yet it's funny, and they have a lot of action sequences. They throw a lot of iconic monsters in there. And it's a witty movie. When I see it, looks like it's witty, and the screenwriters did a much better job than whoever did the first AD&D movie, which is just plotting and awful. So yeah, it's the same kind of thing as what do you want to see, or what kind of movie do you want to see? And I know a lot of people were like, well, I want to see a serious D&D movie. I don't think you really do. I don't think a serious D&D movie would even appeal to even half the people. They're trying to appeal, like I said, they're trying to go beyond us, the niche audience. They're trying to appeal to our girlfriends, wives, husbands, or whatever. I think a serious D&D movie would cut that even further in half. People are like, oh, well, it's about a bunch of guys in a dungeon, and it's not even funny at all. Because look at those movies normally. Those movies don't do very good. You have movies like what was the Nick Cage Witch Hunter or something? I mean, those movies already don't do good. The Solomon Kane movie that came out, which was a good movie. That was too serious, far too serious. It just didn't do well. Those kind of movies that are serious, swords and sorcery, just don't do very well. Now, Game of Thrones did, but Game of Thrones, let's face it, Game of Thrones is a soap opera. It disguised as a fantasy, it's got, and so that did as well as it did, because that's basically what it is. It's a soap opera. A serious D&D movie would be awful. Who wants to go see Tomb of Horrors and everybody dies? And then just, okay, what did I just see? I just saw a bunch of guys that I thought were cool, and they all died, and this lich laughed at the end, and I give up. What am I supposed to do? So anyway, that's the same thing with the D&D movies, and that you have to appeal beyond your base, and you have to hope that it catches on. Look, I mean, so the example, I guess, the best example of this is Stranger Things, because Stranger Things. So if you know the story of Stranger Things, it was shopped around. Nobody thought it was interesting. Nobody liked it. The brothers who did it shopped it around for years and years and years. Nobody wanted something set in the 80s. The 80s is dumb. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to. Why are they playing D&D? Why do they do this? And they just kept shopping around. And finally, Netflix took a chance on it and said, "Yeah, whatever. We'll do that." And it was a really, really well written, well acted series.
Yeah. And
it happened to have D&D in it, so that struck a lot of chords with nostalgic people who remember the 80s and remember D&D. And it was funny, but it was also really serious. It was scary. There was a lot of scary parts of Stranger Things, but it was a compelling story. It was interesting, and it just hit every note perfectly. Boom, 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 and it became a phenomenon. Is the D&D movie going to hit every note and become a phenomenon? I mean, I don't know. I don't think it will.
Might it be successful enough to fund a sequel? It might.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be like Fast and Furious 19 or whatever's coming out next. I think there's going to be enough interest that they'll try to see if they can make a profit off a second one. Hopefully, the second one won't be direct to video. But
so, and what Gunn says is right. That's why we get repeats the same over and over. Yeah.
Go ahead, James.
No, go ahead, James.
Yeah, we're seeing the same thing. It's the same principle, both for comics, for movies, for role-playing games. That whenever you try and take something that's meant to tell a story for the sake of telling a story and try and turn it into a cash cow, you kill it.
Well, and look at to go back to my Stranger Things example. First season was a breakout, bona fide smash hit. So they had to do 2 because they have to do 2. And that 2 was okay. Then they had to do 3. 3 was okay, but now they got to do 4 and 5 because they said we're committed to 5 seasons, and so they did 4. I mean, at this point, you're kind of like, yeah, it's okay now. I mean, but they're definitely pumping that well dry. And by the next season, which is supposed to be the last one, season 5, I'll be done with Stranger Things. I'll be like, okay, that's good. The kids are like 20 years old now. The kids are like 11 years old. The first movie will be 20, even though only 2 years have passed, 2 or 3 years have passed. But yeah, and so that's what and the funny thing is I saw an interview with the Stranger Things brothers, and what they wanted to do is they wanted to do one show and then a show that 10 years later, kind of like, okay, and these would happen to the guys later, but it hit so hard, was so popular. They said, no, we love the kids. We don't want the kids growing up. We want you to do the next year and then the year after. So they had, they did 83, 84, 85, 86, whatever. Problem is kids grow up, and so the kids who are supposed to be 4 years old or like I said, right, 23 now because it's been years. But yeah, that's the nature of anything though, is you pump you hit something and you just pump that well dry and then you move on. And then maybe 10 years later you come back to it because by then everybody that grew up on it, they're old enough to like get sucked into nostalgia. Oh, and that was a big draw with Stranger Things, is the nostalgia of seeing the kids play D&D. It was cool. It was fun. They had the actual books. They had the minis. I mean, you could read. I mean, my wife stopped at the film, said, "Do you know all those minis?" I said, "I sure do." Grenadier, Ralpartha, whoever, all the minis of they had. The guy had on the table and stuff. And so yes, it's that's part of the fun. So if they squeeze out 2 or 3 D&D movies that are pretty good quality, I think that's above and beyond the expectations of what they're shooting for. Now, I think they want more than that, right? They want it to be a bona fide, just absolute Stranger Things smash. I just don't know if they're going to get that. I mean, maybe if they bring in, it'd be fun if the movies that went on from here had different stars that pop in. I mean, it'd be fun to see Vin Diesel in one of these because we all know he's a D&D fan, or right, Joe Manganiello or Vince Vaughn. I mean, all those guys are D&D fans. It'd be fun to see somebody like that and just have a wink at the camera because, oh yeah, this guy loves to play D&D and here he is in the movie. So I think they can keep the franchise rolling along there. For a while, but I don't know. I'm interested in seeing it. I want to see it now. I just don't think it's going to save WotC or save D&D Next or whatever.
Well, no, it's not D&D Next. It's D&D 1.
D&D 1, whatever.
D&D
I get them mixed up. New D&D.
D&D Fun. Oh no, it's not meant to be fun.
It's not meant to be fun. No, it's just D&D
fun.
1.
Just meant to we need a golden goose, and we got to squeeze out enough eggs at a time.
What? We'll do our own song. It's D&D 1. It's not meant to be fun. It's not for everyone. It's just for. I mean, that's how bad the song. That song is better.
I'll move like I just don't care because D&D is fun for you. It's fun for me, but it's money for Wizard of the Coast.
Hey, yeah. I mean, that's about as good as the song they had there. So
I think.
James Gary wants to say something about James Shields. Oh, here we go. He's been drinking. He's going to declare his love for you, James. Here it comes right now. I'm predicting it. He's going to tell us.
7 weeks ago.
Best logo ever. Yes, we showed it earlier, Gary, when you weren't watching us. It was good. Yes, we love it too. It's good stuff. You're right. We did see the logo. We did show the logo.
Bro. I love you, bro.
I love you, James.
If I didn't love you so much, I'd hug you, and if I loved you more, I'd punch you.
Oh, and Gary's right. Please get your order in as soon. So if you want to register for the con, register before Saturday, because of the way things work. We're going to want you to get those shirt orders in very quickly. So get it in before Saturday.
Okay.
Please do that. Also, and as I said earlier, and Gary wasn't listening, we're going to sell out this year. I don't know when or when it could be. Hopefully, I'll be after April 15th. But we are on an absolutely record pace for selling tennis chips this year.
Oh my God, they're gonna get too large for their venue.
We're gonna have. I really think we're gonna have 500 this year. I really think we're gonna get there. We've gotten close before, but never quite 500. Order 10. Okay, yes, order 10 shirts, please. Or size 10 or 10. Yeah, 10
well, gamers 10 would be like, I don't know, maybe an extra large.
Gary says we're at 365 right now. So I said 360 earlier, so it's 365. We usually have anywhere from 60 to so walk-ups. This is gonna be full, kids. We still have 2 months. We still have 2 months.
2 months.
2 months to go. And and if the movie is a hit, I mean, I don't know if the movie's going to be a hit or not, but it has general release this week. If it's a hit, we may fill up pretty quick. North Texas may fill up in 2 weeks. Everybody might decide they want to go play the game. They want to play just like I saw the game on the movie. And if you don't play that game, or if you don't play like Matt Mercer, I don't want to play your game. That's what I want to play.
I want to be like Matt Mercer.
I want to play. Remember when that went around for about a year or so? Everybody's like, I went to a convention. I didn't like it because the DM wasn't like Matt Mercer. We had to explain to him, like, nobody's like Matt Mercer.
But Matt Mercer. That's why he makes money doing his
No
shit.
one is.
No one's like that.
We had 367 last year.
Wow. That's our total last year. And then we had about 60 walk-ups. So we're talking, we have that many right now signed up in March.
All right.
That's crazy. Crazy talk.
Crazy? I could give you a song too, Crazy Talk.
Crazy talk about my D&D convention, North Texas.
Crazy for you and your DMing ability to
We got Darlene, we got Diesel. We would like to have Easley, but he's too busy. But we may have Errol Otis. You never notice.
Oh, you never notice if there's Errol Otis. You see,
because he's always playing games. True. That worked out great. Because he's always playing games.
Mike, we missed our calling. We should.
We could have sang just as good as that terrible song of that video.
But who gets to wear the bow in their hair? That's the actually.
Your
hair's too short. Your hair's too short.
You have to wear the cat ears and the bow. Cat ears and the bow in the hair. Easley's that's right. Easley's having his knee surgery this year. As long as he paints a painting for us, we love Easley. So
there you go,
Jeff.
Just paint a painting.
Paint a painting that we can share the profit with you.
And we don't want to hear nothing else. All right. Now it's 10 o'clock, which means that my son, who I had to send a text message to and say, listen, you lovely dumb individual. I should be off my live stream around 10.
Do you know what Wednesday is during the week? Do you know when you call me every Wednesday?
Jeez. James, thank you for joining us. I wish we were.
Yes, we can see your smiling face.
Yes, I'll get to see your smiling face at North Texas. So it'll have to do. Yes. I'll wipe a few tears from my eyes. But.
Are you in any of my games this year?
I haven't signed up for any games yet. So.
You better get some. Well, you better get some games in there.
Again.
Yeah, I'm bad with that. And I used to always stay up till 2 a.m. here in New York and have to sign up. And then for 2 people, have 2 browsers open so I could do me and Rach. And then I'd go to work at 6 a.m., which was always fun. I was miserable the next day. And now I'm an old fuck that's retired and I'll probably be asleep.
Gary, is Otis a thumbs up for certain? Let's wait for Gary. We might just want to spring something on the crowd right here. Just something because you hung around. We're going to let you know. Gary, tell me, is Otis a thumbs up? Gary worked very hard at this. Errol said he couldn't come, and we were crossed our fingers. So he's not answering. He's not
because you're asking a question.
I'm waiting for an email reply. So cross fingers. Cross fingers, so we're going to have Errol Otis this year again. We haven't had him since 2018. So
we're leaving a bunch of idiots in suspense right now. That's us. That's Mike and I, not the folks.
So we may add further to our special guest list.
There will be 3.
And now he's leaving us in suspense.
There will be 3 generations of shields this year.
Oh,
whoa!
My oldest son with me.
Very
nice. Oh, that is going to be. We need to get that picture, man. That's going to be awesome.
Very cool. Well, again,
Yes.
James, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, James. We love having you, man. And James's Kickstarter is Mace.
I've linked it, but I'll link it again. Hold on a second.
It will be Friday. It's going to jump up Friday, so be
Launch
there.
Friday.
Square. And the first 25 people, 25? First 25 get special considerations there.
Are you making stuff up, Mike?
No, I thought it was the first 20. Was I not listening? Maybe that's when I walked out the room. To go to the bathroom.
No.
I had a mission earlier. I had a mission I had to go on.
Yes, Mike was listening from the bathroom, going, "I heard something about 25."
I thought it was something. The first 25 people got something. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, just be the first 25 people to sign up.
Just be cool, man. Just
be cool. Do it. Just do it.
Just do it like Rod Stewart. Yes. We are not punch drunk. Honestly, this is just Diet Pepsi from Taco Bell, and I didn't have to make a bathroom.
I'm happy I survived my colonoscopy, so yes, I'm punch drunk on.
I'm happy you survived.
I'm punch drunk on no polyps, so I'm awesome. I feel
there. You go.
And I love talking to James too. James is awesome. So
yeah, I would say thank you to Mike, but he won't remember anyway.
No.
What's up?
No, I'm gonna take some drugs tonight.
Yeah, there you go, folks. As always, thank you for joining us on a live stream. You make this live stream, whether it's on a Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, you make it what it is. It really depends on you. Be safe, be well, God bless. Roll those dice, roll them well. I will be back again. Oh, this is 5th Friday. Holy crap. There's no live stream. There's no live stream.
No live stream Friday?
No live stream Friday.
All right. I'll just do my own live stream then, I guess.
Well, that's
by myself. I
have
no clue how to do it, but that's.
Well, listen. If Mike and I get bored, maybe you'll have a live stream.
Okay, if maybe if Watsy does something really stupid tomorrow, we'll see.
Yeah,
what happens.
We'll see. All right, folks.
Watsy
Thank you and God bless.
Later.